All right, this video is for anybody that's having trouble with the Titan 2, Titan 1 plotter. I think the workhorses are kind of the similar type of setup. Ever since fucking day one, I've had issues with this plotter, whether it was not cutting all the way through on one side, cutting perfectly over here, and then cutting through or cutting perfect. It wasn't even. And I've read all kinds of different posts and shit like that, you know, talking about the cut and strip, the blade, how far you're supposed to have it out, every fucking thing. And I just kind of eventually got used to, you know, it either cutting all the way through, cutting all right, and then, you know, somewhere in between. But something fucking clicked, and I realized, well, if it's cutting perfect over here, right, and it's cutting all the way through, that means the groove is going down like a mountain instead of just straight across. And it has to be this cut and strip. I've tried every different blade there is. I got these from Amazon, and it's got the red one, which I think is like, one of them's 45 degree, 30 degree, and I think the blue one's more for like vinyl. But I got these from Amazon, right? Yeah, cheap ass China blades, but they, you know, whatever I did today, figured it out. So I'll put a link to the description, or not the description, but I'll put a link in the comments about where to get those blades at. And what I did was, now you get, whenever you first order one of these things, it comes with this fucking double-sided tape, right? And you're supposed to put this tape on this in this groove all the way across here, or else it's got some like glue, some rubbery ass glue that when it hardens, you know, I guess it holds it in place. I've used the glue, I've used this tape multiple times, and it still wouldn't cut right. I've used just the strip that it comes with, right? And as soon as it hits it, puts a little nick in here, it's over with. And these Teflon strips are like 30, 40 bucks a piece. So instead of, you know, because if you accidentally set the force or have your blade out too far, the first cut is going to fuck it up. So you got to start out really, really far. But instead of this getting fucked up or having to flip it over on the other side, I would put, some people said to use masking tape, you know. So what I would do is I would put this double-sided sticky tape in this groove, right, all the way across, very fucking carefully, right, boom. Then I would put, very carefully, I would put this white cutting strip on there, boom. And then I would cover it with either this blue Scotch-Brite tape or else. Saw a video of them using this Gorilla tape, right? Which is basically like fucking duct tape. And sometimes it would work, but it would always eventually start cutting all the way through on one side, uneven, and it would just take forever. So, I you know, whenever I would peel all this shit off and mess with it, I would take the whole strip off, clean it, everything. It would still do it. But something hit me, and I was like, I noticed that whenever I would take this strip off and put a new piece of this tape on here, the old tape, it was like rigidy in some areas. I have no idea why. Instead of it being smooth all the way across, when you look at where the tape residue is, like you would see like little bits of adhesive, like it was almost like textured, and then it wouldn't be. And I'm like, well, that's exactly what's going on. So I took all this tape, this adhesive off, this double-sided sticky tape bullshit. It took forever. The best thing to do is to get some yellow, LA's Totally Awesome yellow spray, and just squirt it very carefully all in this groove right here, right? And I took a little chiseler, and after it set for a while, it loosened up some of that adhesive, and I just took that little plastic tool and scrubbed the fuck out of this groove, and it made it so much easier, because you try to just peel that old tape off, you're going to be here for an hour or two, scraping your fingernail against it. So that LA's Totally Awesome. I put it in that bottle right there. But that's what it is. It's like $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. All right. So after you get all this double-sided sticky tape or the fucking glue, which is even worse than that, once you get all that bullshit off, all I did was so this whole channel, this whole groove underneath this is clean. I took a little bit of this, and this is, where's it at? This Teflon tape that I got from Amazon. I actually got this to put on the end of my that green back window tool, whatever the fuck it's, bulldozer with like an angle, because it came with it on there, right, when I bought it from Amazon. And then it eventually came off, so I ordered some of this shit to put back on there. But this just ended up coming off of that too, so I said fuck it. But then I saw another video of a guy using this same tape for his, instead of this Gorilla Tape or this masking tape, he was using this. I was like, I got some of that shit. So I cut a little square piece off and right there just to keep this white, the actual cutting strip, from fucking moving, right? So there's nothing underneath this cutting strip. It's just a clean channel. Once that was held in place with that little piece of tape, I just went all the way across here very carefully and covered it with this. I think this is, what is this? Like a 1/2 inch. Yeah, so this is a 1/2 inch Teflon tape. Covered it with a 1/2 inch Teflon tape. And it's cutting like fucking butter. Like it should have been cutting on day one now. This is what I've got my settings at. Got it going 600, which is kind of fast. I've been having it for the longest time. It wouldn't go over. I wouldn't have it set under or over like 280. But I saw some other videos and they're of people with different plotters, some similar to these, and they were fucking flying compared to mine. So I turned it all the way up to like 600. And then the force, I have mine at 42. The force is going to determine or be determined by how far out you've got your blade. I think this is the, let me clean this fucking thing off. I think this is the red one that came. That's the one I've got in there. And that's exactly how far it's out. If you can see that right there is how far. Like just barely. If I can get it to focus. That's how far. I don't know how many millimeters or whatever. Got it dropped in here. And I would start out at like force like 20 and then just hit a test cut and then go from there. Like I said, you can do this on the workhorse, Titan 1, 2, 3. I think it's basically the same principle, same setup. But yeah, this tape, dude, I couldn't believe how good it peeled off. I didn't have to like hold it and pull on certain to keep it from tearing, not where it would get hung up. I mean, just like that. So I hope this video helps anybody that may be kind of confused on why it's cutting all the way through on one side. It's cutting perfect over here, and it's not even cutting it nowhere near where it should, like in the middle and shit. It's because of this bullshit double-sided sticky tape that they give you. That's the fucking problem. I wonder if they give us this bullshit so we have to keep buying cutting strips from them. I don't know. But regardless, this is the way to do it.